Pusha T should be on the greatest 50 rappers of all time list?
How? What has he done? What has he done that puts him in the greatest rappers of all time besides talk about that he probably didn't get?
Respect people who turned the lights on for you.
Mase taught me how to rap, and Cam always made sure I was on every single album he had. There would be no Jim Jones if it wasn't for them guys.
1 hour later.
And it's good to hear you give Mase his flowers.
I ain't giving no flowers. I love to hate, because I'm a hater myself.
This right here is exactly why Jim Jones crashed out. Again, and this time, it's straight up messy. Pusha T locked eyes with that camera like he was looking right into Jim's soul. He didn't blink once, just dropped the nuke. Jim's been running from the spirit of repossession ever since the bank snatched his house. That one line had the internet gasping for air, but oh, it didn't stop there. Mase showed up like he'd been waiting for this all week, popcorn in hand, ready to see the chaos go down. And the wildest part, after getting roasted that hard in front of everyone, Jim still couldn't chill. Instead of taking the L quietly, he jumped back online with a freestyle, throwing slick shade on Instagram at both Pusha and Mase, trying to act unbothered, but people saw right through it. The desperation was showing loud and clear.
You begged us, you are a fan, a fan.
Pause though, get off my
Now Mase and Cameron, they don't play soft, not even a little. They came back laughing like villains, tearing Jim apart line by line. Let's be honest, Pusha didn't just diss Jim, he demolished him with that Tiny Desk performance. That wasn't just a show, it was an execution with an audience. Pusha and Malice came through like they had a personal score to settle, setting the tone for their comeback album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. And wow, they made sure every bar hit like a punch. Then came that collab with Kendrick Lamar, Chains and Whips. It was pure poison in musical form. Every lyric slicing straight at Jim, raw, cold, and unapologetic. Anyone who watched that Tiny Desk set or the genius lyric breakdown knows exactly what was happening. Pusha didn't crack a smile, didn't even blink. He delivered those bars like he was preaching revenge from a sacred text. When he paused and that little grin crept across his face, you could feel it. Pusha knew he just lit Jim up in front of millions. The way he humbled Jim on that track was surgical. But honestly, Jim brought this storm on himself.
I will close your heaven for the hell of it. It seems to be valor amongst veterans. I'm watching your fame escape relevance. We all in a room, but here's the elephant. There's no tombstones in the desert. I know by now you get the message. Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chain.
He's the one who jumped into the ring just to defend Drake like some kind of self-appointed bodyguard. And now, that same fire he tried to light for someone else is burning him down in public. This whole circus started when Jim Jones began tossing random shots at Pusha T, all because of his loyalty to Drake. Like seriously, this beef wasn't even his to fight, but Jim dove in headfirst anyway. And then came that cold, brutal line from Chains and Whips. We all in the room, but here's the elephant. You chasing a feature out of your element? That was savage. Pusha wasn't just rapping, he was pressing buttons. Everyone knew that was aimed right at Jim, who's been out here chasing a Drake feature like it's a golden ticket. But the real knockout came when Pusha hit him with, "You was nowhere near top 50, you top 950. That line stung like a slap. Pusha basically told him he's not even part of the conversation. What's wild is that Jim's been calling Drake the GOAT for years, repping him hard like a soldier protecting the crown. At this point, his whole image started looking more like Drake's hype man than his own artist, and people online haven't stopped clowning him for it. It all went off the rails when Billboard dropped their top 50 greatest rappers of all time list, with Pusha T sitting pretty at number 29. That ranking made Jim Jones lose his cool instantly. He stormed into the Breakfast Club talking wild, claiming Pusha didn't even deserve a spot on that list. And he didn't stop there. He slid over to the Rap Caviar podcast and doubled down, saying Pusha hadn't done anything major for the culture. But when Chains and Whips dropped, that line alone proved how wrong he was. It hit Jim right in the pride. Here's where things took a crazy twist. Jim decided to clap back with a freestyle. But get this, the track wasn't even new. Turns out he recorded that joint 2 years ago, way before Chains and Whips ever came out. So now everyone's asking, how did he even get to Beat Early? Word around the industry says a snippet of the track leaked when Clips performed it at a Louis Vuitton runway show. Jim must have heard it, grabbed the beat, and dropped his version right after, like he couldn't wait another second. That's how pressed he was, fighting a battle that hadn't even started yet. But Jim didn't stop there. The man kept digging the hole deeper. After the Tiny Desk performance blew up online and everyone crowned Pusha the clear winner, Jim tried to spin back around for another round. He jumped on Instagram and re-uploaded that same old freestyle, trying to make it seem like new heat.
I have Pusha T records right now, his records.
Yes.
Name
I love Pusha. Nostalgia.
Oh, you was a Pusha T fan.
If you know, you know.
I didn't know he had fans like that. Can you name 5 Pusha T records? No, his records.
See, but
No, can you? No, can you rap to 5 Pusha?
I can't rap 5. No,
all right, can you rap to 5? Wait. Can you rap? If 5 Pusha T records, not the records he's featured on, if 5 Pusha T records came on right now, could you rap them?
You could rap 5 Pusha T records?
Yeah.
No, could you rap 5 Pusha T records right now if they started playing?
What do you mean rap? Like the hook?
Could you sing them? You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that. But you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like I didn't never want to be like Pusha. I never had a Pusha moment in my life. I never thought like you dig. Like where I'm from, I want to be like you if you was really that dude and that rapper and things
Wayne
like that.
wanted to be like Pusha. He was influenced by Pusha.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's why Pusha did the Mr. Me Too record.
Okay, cool. You're a very strong Pusha T fan. Nigga, you was nowhere near the top 50.
His caption read, "I thought we addressed this already. He gonna need a bigger desk, cause that one was too tiny." Then he threw in, "This is surgical. I'm not a storyteller, I'm a life liver, and your brother is still a friend to me, LOL. Like, come on, Jim, for real?" The tone was given forced confidence, and everyone could feel it. The internet didn't buy it one bit. Even his own fans started clowning him right there in the comments. One person wrote, "You got triggered and smoked so bad you re-uploaded a diss from last year." Another dropped a funny jab, "He ain't say your name and you bragging on the enamel on your necklace." The comment section turned into a comedy show and Jim was the punchline. He looked like the only one not in on the joke. Then someone slid in with a cold one. "Jealousy turns into obsession. Give it up, man, you reaching." That comment hit like a punch to the gut, but it didn't stop with random fans. Mase and Cameron decided to step in too, and when those two jump into anything, you know the energy shifts fast. They've got a long, messy history with Jim, so yeah, this one's personal, and they're clearly enjoying watching him squirm. Mase couldn't even keep a straight face. He was laughing like he'd been waiting for this moment, and honestly, he kinda has, because this isn't some random rap beef. This tension goes way back, deep into Harlem history. Back in the day, Jim, Mase, and Cameron were like brothers. Same blocks, same grind, same dream of breaking out of the struggle. They came up during New York's golden era, side by side, hustling through the chaos together. They moved like a real crew, the original children of the corn. But when the fame hit and the money started rolling in, loyalty started to fade, and everything they built together cracked right down the middle. Back in the mid-90s, Mase was the first to really take off. He caught that golden ticket with Bad Boy Records under Diddy, and overnight he turned into a full-blown superstar. But according to Jim Jones, that's when everything started to shift. He swears that the second Mase blew up, he changed up his whole vibe, started acting brand new, especially towards Cameron, the same dude who was there grinding with him from day one. Jim's been saying for years that the fame went straight to Mase's head, and the brotherhood they once had fell apart right there. Jim even brought the topic back earlier this year on Justin LaBoy's Respectfully show, and he didn't hold back a bit. He dropped straight shade, saying he personally saw Mase talking down on Cameron once he got that taste of success. Jim said, "I lost all respect for him." Just like that, one sentence, years of loyalty erased. One moment they were brothers in the hustle, the next they were divided like strangers on opposite sides of the city. While Mase was out there shining under Diddy's bright lights, Cameron stayed in the trenches, still grinding, still stacking, still plotting his next move. And when Cameron finally made it, he didn't forget who rode for him. He reached back and pulled Jim up with him, and that loyalty sparked a movement. That's how Dipset was born, one of Harlem's most iconic empires. Cam and Jim built that brand brick by brick, turning the streets into a global wave, while Mase was out living the flashy life far from the neighborhood that raised him. Then came a wild curveball no one saw coming. Mase walked away from rap altogether. After all the mess with Diddy and the industry drama, he vanished, saying he'd found God and was turning his life around as a pastor. He traded designer fits for church robes, swapped out stages for sermons, at least for a little while. But out of nowhere, boom, he jumped back into rap like nothing ever happened. And Jim, he wasn't convinced for a second. To him, it looked staged. 1 minute preaching, the next back rapping about money and fame. In Jim's eyes, it made him look confused, inconsistent, and chasing whatever spotlight he could grab next. Jim's always said that Mase only pops up when the camera's on. He sees him as unreliable, switching lanes whenever it's convenient, never truly standing on anything. But here's where the story really gets juicy. Yeah, Mase and Cam'ron had beef too. Their fallout was ugly and dragged on for years, full of shots and cold tension. But then, in 2022, the unthinkable happened. They made peace and teamed up again to launch their sports talk show, It Is What It Is. That reunion shocked the whole game. And for Jim, oh, that hit him deep. Seeing Mase and Cam'ron laughing together after decades of bad blood had to sting. The same guy Jim said was fake and flaky was now sitting right beside Cam like old times, cracking jokes and talking game on camera. It was more than just a podcast moment. It was history flipping on Jim right in front of everyone. Word on the street says Jim was fuming over that reunion. Seeing Mase and Cam'ron back together, cracking jokes, doing business, and soaking up all that love again, it clearly got under his skin. Instead of showing support, he started throwing shade from the sidelines. He even tried to clown Mase's looks recently, saying he needed to go on a diet. That's when everyone realized Jim wasn't just bothered, he was pressed. But Mase and Cam'ron, they don't take jabs quietly. They flipped the whole situation into entertainment gold. Their next move was straight up savage. They invited Jim's longtime rival, 50 Cent, onto their podcast, It Is What It Is. You could practically hear the internet gearing up for the drama.
During the episode, Cam couldn't resist stirring the pot. He looked over at Mase with that trademark smirk and asked, "So why did Jim randomly pop up at a 50 Cent concert back in 2007 while Dipset and G-Unit were beefing?" And just like that, boom, Cam lobbed the setup and 50 delivered the dunk. The whole studio broke into wild laughter. They basically turned Jim into a punchline for millions to see, and the clips went viral in minutes. Of course, Jim wasn't about to sit quiet after getting clowned like that. He showed up on Justin LeBoy's show again and went off, full-blown rank mode. He started blasting Cam and 50 for even bringing up his name, claiming they owed him more than a few favors. Jim tried to call both of them live on air, but the energy felt more desperate than powerful. It came off like he was trying to rewrite how everyone remembered the story. Then Jim decided to crank things up even higher. He started flipping the whole Dipset narrative. He claimed he was the mastermind behind everything, the brains behind Dipset's look, the image, the movement, even Cam's famous pink fur coat. Jim said straight up, "That legendary look, my idea." He wanted the world to know that he was the true creative force behind the Harlem wave that took over the early 2000s. But Cam wasn't letting that slide for a second. He clapped back hard on the very next episode of the podcast, tearing Jim's whole version of events to pieces. Cam looked dead into the camera and called out every exaggeration, every stretched truth, every piece of fake history Jim tried to push. He even went as far as to question Jim's authenticity, saying he wasn't really about that Harlem life like he claimed. Cam made it crystal clear, Jimmy wasn't built like that. And just like that, what once was brotherhood turned into another full-blown war. The decades of loyalty, music, and shared success, gone, replaced by ego, pride, and public humiliation. Their bond, once one of Harlem's strongest, was now just another cautionary tale in hip-hop history, and this time, the world was watching every explosive second. Cam didn't hold back for a second. He aired Jim out like laundry on a windy Harlem day. According to Cam, Jim was never a real day one soldier. They weren't in the trenches together, not even close. Cam said it plain and bold. By the time Jim showed up, the foundation was already set in stone. Children of the Corn had their name buzzing through every Harlem block. And Jim, he was just watching from the sidelines like a fan hoping to get called into the game. That truth hit like a punch, and everyone felt the sting. Then Jim tried to flex his memory, saying he'd seen Mase's son Cam back in those Bad Boy Records days. Cam wasn't letting that slide either. He laughed it off right there on camera. He said Jim wasn't even around back then. Cam made sure people knew the real story. Jim wasn't part of that original circle, not in the studio, not in the grind. He came in after the hard work was done, once the movement already had motion and shine. But Cam wasn't finished throwing verbal punches. He hit Jim with a bombshell that flipped the internet upside down. Cam revealed that it was actually Mase who taught Jim how to rap in the first place. Yeah, you heard that right. Mase was the one who showed him how to spit. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get any wilder, Cam pulled out the proof. Old clips of Jim himself admitting that Mase gave him his very first bars. You could almost hear the collective gasp from social media. It was one of those moments that stops the internet cold. And the best part? The comedy. Every time the cameras cut to Mase, he was sitting there with this giant bucket of popcorn, laughing like he was watching a live comedy special. He didn't even have to say anything. His smile said it all. That cool, unbothered vibe had everyone cracking up, while Jim was somewhere fuming behind his phone screen. And oh, he definitely snapped after that. Jim jumped online in full meltdown mode, saying, "I'll slap that popcorn out of Mase's hand." Like, seriously, bro, you really letting some popcorn get under your skin? But he wasn't done. Hours later, he went live again, still ranting, pacing, and trying hard to flip the story his way. It was pure chaos on the timeline. This time, Jim came with new insults, calling Mase and Cam washed-up legends who live off old stories. He said, "They sitting around talking about the past like it's 2003, bro. That era gone." But here's the wild irony. While he was calling them stuck in the past, he was the one recycling old freestyles from years ago and still crying about a rapper list. Fans weren't fooled for a second. One person even commented, "You calling them washed while spitting the same bars from 2022. That line went viral and the roast sessions just kept rolling. Jim couldn't catch a break. The internet had him trending for all the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, Cam and Mase were just turning up the petty. On the next episode of It Is What It Is, Cam pulled up in full trolling mode, rocking a loud pink fur coat and a cape, completely mocking Jim's claim that he invented the Dipset look. The crowd lost it. Mase, staying in character, just sipped from a mug that read #OneLifeLiver, shaking his head like a disappointed coach watching a rookie mess up. That single moment, the coat, the mug, the smirk, blew up online instantly. Memes, edits, TikToks, the whole internet caught fire overnight. Then came the final spark that sent the whole feud into overdrive. 50 Cent decided to jump into the chaos. He posted a shady photo of himself laughing with the caption, "Y'all better call the fire department. Jimmy's melting down again." And from there, it was a full-blown circus. The comments filled up with clown emojis, popcorn gifs, and jokes that just wouldn't stop. Everyone was laughing. Fans, bloggers, even other rappers chimed in. And Jim, he was the only one not smiling. While the world turned his meltdown into memes, Mase and Cam just kept stacking views and laughs, proving once again that when it comes to Harlem drama, nobody plays the game like them. Now Jim's got his back against the wall, and the pressure's real this time. The whole industry's tuned in, waiting to see what he does next. Is he finally gonna drop something fresh, or just keep recycling the same old shots like a mixtape on repeat? Because right now, it looks like he's out here shadowboxing, swinging at ghosts while the internet keeps laughing louder by the day. But hold up, there's a twist. Jim's not tapping out just yet. Word is, he's gearing up for a comeback. And guess who's rolling with him? Drake, the Six God himself. That's right, Jim's teaming up with Drake for his new project, Iceman, and he's moving like he's got something to prove. Rumor has it, he's been in the studio non-stop, penning bars so sharp they might cut through his whole list of rivals. Pusha, Mase, Cam, nobody's off limits. Insiders are saying this isn't just an album, it's a full-on hit list. Jim's ready to reclaim his name, his pride, and his spot, and he's betting that Drake's cosign will give him the firepower to do it.
Whether it's redemption or just more drama waiting to explode, one thing's for sure, the next drop's gonna have the streets talking non-stop. And if you're keeping up with this saga, make sure you like, subscribe, and share to stay tapped in with all the latest heat. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next wild update. This story is far from over,